Warm greetings, Billionaires. This is Mr. Masyachenko, and today we are trying to help you understand critical path. Let's start. I want you to get your pen and your paper as we start this new topic. Critical path, what it is. Okay, let me give you the definition. Critical path is the sequence of activities that must be completed on time for the whole project to be completed by the agreed date. The sequence of activities that must be completed on time for the whole project to be completed by the agreed date. So when we're doing critical path, we have a tool that we call the critical path analysis. Critical path analysis is a planning technique. Critical path analysis is a planning what? Technique that identify all the tasks in a project. We need to identify all the tasks in a project. Then what do we do after identifying the task in a project? We put them in the correct sequence. A follows A, B follows A, C follows B. We are now trying to put the activities, the task in a sequence, correct sequence. Then we allow for the identification of the critical path. So critical path analysis is a planning technique. Okay, then what is critical path? We're saying these are the sequence of activities that must be completed on time. The sequence of activities that must be completed on time is what we call the critical path, so that the whole project may be completed by the agreed date. So we use what we call a network diagram. So in simple terms, a network diagram is used in critical path analysis. A network diagram is used in critical path analysis, showing the logical sequence of activities and their logical dependence between them. Okay, I think this is very clear, and we defined what a project is. And we said a project is a specific activity with a start and an end date, goals, and defined responsibility, also with a budget. So a project should be specific. A project should have a start date, an end date. It should have clear goals. It should have defined responsibility plus a budget. That's what we call a project. So a project is not run forever. It has a start date and a finish date. It should have clear goals if it's a project. It should have defined responsibility, and a project should have a budget. I think that one is very clear. We made it very clear in our first lesson. So let's proceed. Today, I want us to take our pen. Can you take your pen, your calculator, and we want to do what we call a forward pass. This is a network diagram that we have with all the activities that are put in a sequence. A should start, then B follows, then the last one is C. Let me also get my pen, and we start. Forward pass. So I want you to take down these terms: EST, LS starting time, duration, EFT, LS finishing time. So for today, let's say a project, this is activity, we say this is activity A. Okay, activity A, we put A. If activity A takes 7 days, we put the duration in this. Okay, then the earliest start time, okay, the earliest start time is simply, earliest start time is the earliest time an activity can start. So this A is the first activity. The earliest starting time of this activity is 0, because that's the starting activity. But how do we perform a forward pass? We say a forward pass is an attempt to calculate the earliest finishing time. The earliest finishing time. The earliest finishing time is this one. How do we calculate it? I've given you the formula that is here. It's EST plus duration. So in simple terms, we're going to say 0 plus the duration. Then that's how we get this one. So how would we get this one? If this one 0 plus 7, we get 7. So the earliest finishing time of activity A is 7 days. Okay, let's see how we do it. So always remember that the earliest starting time of the first activity is equal to 0. Okay, remember that, don't forget that. So let's follow the formula, we don't want to waste time. It's 0 plus 5, that's the duration of this one. So let me just make it clear for others. The duration is this one. Activity A requires 5 days, activity B requires 7 days, activity C requires 8 days. Okay. Let's see now how we can calculate the earliest finishing time. So we are going to say 0 plus 5, we get a 5. So we are going to say 0, right, plus 5. Okay, and this is the 0 that we're taking, right? Remember, we're taking this 0 plus 5, then we say equals to this 5 that I've calculated for you. So this is the earliest finishing time. So the earliest finishing time of activity A is the earliest starting time of activity B. So we put a 5 again. Then we continue with the sequence. We are going to add a 7 to this one. Then what do we get is our EST, our earliest finishing time, our EFT, okay, becomes what? 7 plus 5 plus 7. What do we get? We get this 12, okay? And this is the earliest finishing time of activity B. So by day 12, activity B will be done. Then it means that the earliest time that activity C can start. So we put it again at 12. Are you seeing that? Okay. Then we continue with the sequence. I will just pause the video. I want you to calculate and see how we got this 12 before I give you homework for today. Okay. I think you got it. So we are going to say 12 plus, remember we said our EST, which is 12, plus the duration, and duration of this one is 8, then we get 20. Are you seeing that? So that's how we do the forward pass. So the forward pass in simple terms will be adding. Okay, don't forget that one. Okay, in our next lesson, we'll be doing a backward pass. Right, this is the homework that I've given you, I've prepared for you. I want you to copy and complete this diagram. We have been given the duration of activity A. We've been given the duration for activity B. We've been given duration for activity C. We have been given duration for activity D. So I want you to calculate the EST, this one. I want you to fill in. 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 Okay, I want you to fill in this one. I want you to fill in this one. So we meet in our next lesson where we start with the revision of this one. I will project the answer. Then we see how far you can do. I want you to use our textbook so that you can actually refer to and see the help that you can get. Bye-bye for now. This is Sejef presenting on critical path analysis. In our next lesson, we'll be doing the backward pass and we'll complete this homework. So wish you all the best. And remember, no pain, no gain. And remember, all things are possible to those who are committing their time to start. Okay, so we meet in our next lesson. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.